Willie D Live.
To this day, I've never bought a laptop. I do not have a laptop to this day because I'm sure this will be a big statement for the most part. It's in the word artificial intelligence. It's not real. Artificial intelligence, and it's popular. So we have so much things being done by AI. It's like something feels demonic to me. Like something else. It's like we're being set up for something that I can't tell what's going to happen. I don't know what it's going to be. But something, here's a perfect example. I'm in a hotel. I'm trying to check in to see if you got any rooms. The person says they won't take my ID or my money. You got to go check in online. I'm like, what is your interest in me checking in online? I'm in the hotel right now. I got my ID and money. Why are you not going to check and see if you have any rooms? You have to check in online. I said, what's that about? So why are you making me go online to make a reservation? I'm here right now in front of you. I'm here right now, and I'm wondering why they're making me go online. I can't understand what's happening. And I think something's being set up, and I can't tell what's going to happen, quite frankly. But it's like we're too interested in me being online to do everything. Why is a company or a person right here at a company, I'm here in person, why are you forcing me to go online to make a reservation? I really do not trust the internet, quite frankly, on a certain level. It seems like it's under the auspices of convenience, but it's really, really about control, and we're losing so many freedoms that we're not paying attention to, in my opinion, quite frankly. We're not paying attention to a level of convenience of freedom being lost.
So it sounds like to me you didn't take the jab.
No.
You didn't take it.
Absolutely. And that was the other thing. And I said, I can't unknow what I know. So in doing the research and find out what it's about, it's like, then I've lost girlfriends because I'm having to, it's like you got to be careful about oppression. The colonizer is oppressing us on a daily basis. Some things are really covert, some things are overt, some things are inadvertent. But the covert part is like, you make the choice. But what's really at the end game? What's the end game? And I said again, back to being pitted against each other as children, as adults. It's like, why do you get a tax break because you got married? What's in it for them? So I keep saying that for the next generations, what I'm talking about now, for my MC skills, what I do as an MC, I'm talking to the next generation, not our generation and the generation before us, because we're in survival mode. As a generation, we're trying to survive. As a black man, a black woman, whatever, we're being taught to survive, not to thrive. And hip-hop was a chance to thrive, try to thrive. So by surviving, I'm like, what is going on really? What's the hidden message? What are they not telling us? What is really in it for you with us being married? And I said, when you get married, you're not marrying your person, you're marrying the system. You're co-signing the system at the very least. So I say it's a bigger problem that we're not paying attention to, quite frankly.
You know, you own something, man. You own something because there's always something in it for them.
Yes.
Anytime they try to make it seem like they're doing something for us, it's really for them. Like, anytime they're handing out money to us, they make sure they get their cut off the top.
Absolutely.
They're never going to do anything for us without it being the end game being doing something for themselves.
Absolutely. And I think we have a hard time even differentiating the difference between us and them. Because they say, well, who is us? And I say, not them. Period. It's real simple. It's like that we don't know how to define it anymore because we're so busy trying to do with them. And I'm like, some part of patriotism is really like Stockholm Syndrome. To be patriotic is Stockholm Syndrome. You traffic Africans, you kidnap us, and then once to say, hey, you kidnap us, I can't be patriotic, quite frankly, I said. So one thing that I had very, very big problem with as a child is like thought process of being patriotic, and like I can't be like gung-ho about this country. I'm seeing oppression. America has done more things to me than they ever did for me in my lifetime. It's a landslide, not even close. Way more things to me than they did for me ever. And I'm talking from trafficking Africans, from slavery, from the slave trade on up. So I've been on that from the very, very beginning. So it was very hard for me to just get along and just go along to get along, quite frankly.
Do you stand for the pledge? Star Spangled Banner?
One of the reasons I was late to school every day, lived 2 blocks away from the school. I was late every day because I would fake having to go to the bathroom to be late because I did not want to say Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah.
I used to get in fights. I stopped going to Knick games because when I got popular, Mark Jackson used to give me tickets to Knick games. And they would say, please stand up and rise and remove your hats. Automatically, I'm not taking my hat off. Not that I care about my head, but I'm not taking my hat off. And I don't want to say the Pledge of Allegiance. You got to be kidding me.
Was you aware of that third verse where you talk about killing slaves back then, or you just didn't want to stand for it because you didn't believe in the creed?
I just didn't believe in the creed. But I heard about the third verse later, and I was really, really over the top. That took it over the top for me. Like, really? That's the third verse? And they took it out? And that's what I mean again. They had that verse in there, but you take it out because you wanted to sing this. Like, I can't do it. Mm-hmm. And I never forget, I lost friendships because I almost said the company, but they called me and asked me to say the national anthem somewhere, and I just cursed the person out on the phone. It was a big popular company again. So I've actually done damage a lot with a lot of companies, couple of companies, because of what they wanted me to do. And I said it's not that simple for me. So it goes against the grain of my whole thought process altogether.
Yeah. Yeah, Francis Scott Key, boy, that dude was a raging racist. I mean, like, he was one of the worst of the worst. It's got to be something really, really wrong with you to make a song that's supposed to be a pride song for a country and talk about murdering people in the song. And it's got to be something sick about you to want to uphold that message after all that time. And after discovering that this guy really was a racist, and he did call for a section of our people in this country to be murdered, to be slaughtered, unjustly, So, I'm with you, man. I'm not going to be silent so anybody can be comfortable. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be silent for an oppressor, or an enemy to be comfortable.
Absolutely.
They can forget it.
Yes.
Man, how was it like working with Quincy?
I would say the ultimate experience of my life, quite frankly. Rest in peace. I was really affected. You weren't that close to him. I called him every birthday, March 14th. It's going to be crazy not calling him this year for the first time. But I called him every year on his birthday since we met in 1989.
That's dope.
I'm back on the block. And he's absolutely, like you talk about that device thing or whatever, he's like a sage to me because he has a wealth of information, and not just musically, but historically also. So he was able to break a lot of things down for me, quite frankly, and give me a wealth of wisdom and knowledge without question.
What was a normal conversation like with Quincy? Like, get on the phone. Quincy was a player,
Yes, he had that jazz lingo. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Kool? What's up, Kool? He called me Kool. What's up, Kool? So but he always give me sage advice about things that I didn't want to do. Quite frankly, it's like I had a TV show opportunity, and he was saying, get in and then he said, don't make the move before you get in. Get in and make the move. Quite frankly. And I said, I understand it. But again, I said no disrespect at all. As Quincy Jones is from a different generation, so I understand the survival mechanism. I said, my survival mechanism comes from hip-hop. We kind of go against the grain from the door. So I understand what you're saying, but I can't do it that way. So I couldn't, because we had a chance to do something with Dick Clark at one time at a TV show, and Quincy was saying, just go along with what they say. You get in and get the deal, then you change it, which I understand. It was sage advice without question, because my TV show's not been on the air for that's 20 years at the very least. But he said, get in and you can make all the changes once you get in. Once you commit their money first, then change it.
Isn't that what politicians do?
Yes.
They figured it out. I mean, they cracked the code. And I think that's like, it's a learned like art for people like you who stand on business, who stand on integrity, to have to try to navigate through these treacherous treacherous, no pun intended, fake waters.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, you do have to kind of bait and switch sometimes to get what you want. I mean, this is how they got the land from the Indians.
Yes.
You know, like, hey, we come in peace. The whole time they smuggling in guns and putting themselves in position, and then, all right, attack. You know, so that's that's an old play, you know, from 48 Laws of Power. You know, and you know, it's effective.
Yes.
It's effective. So you have to kind of like, if you're designed the way you are and the way your mind is, you know, where you lead with integrity, you know, it takes a little time to try to work through something like that.
Lots of practice, boy. Good Lord.
Yeah.